A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Well, in the top story, we'll be getting you all the news from Parliament as Rajya Sabha has passed the appropriation bill. Also in the top international focus, we'll be getting you all the updates on the London terror attack. Now, Islamic State has claimed responsibility, even as the police has named the assailant as British-born Khalid Masood. All the details on that big story and much more in this bulletin. Let us start with the headlines. Finance Minister rules out farm loan waivers by centre, says the states are free to utilise own resources. Asserts the centre won't adopt a selective approach. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval to meet US Defence Secretary today. Highest level meetings between the two countries after Donald Trump assumed office. India says Pakistan High Commissioner's statement on Jammu and Kashmir not in keeping with the diplomatic niceties, asks Islamabad to tackle terror effectively. At least 250 migrants feared dead in a boat sinking off Libyan coast. Massive rescue operation underway to trace some more bodies. And British police identify London attacker as Islamic State claims responsibility. 8 people arrested as a part of the probe. Death toll rises to 5. First up, news from the Parliament budget session, and the opposition parties staged a walkout from the Rajya Sabha on Thursday as the Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad rubbished claims of EVM tampering during the recent assembly polls. Well, Prasad said that the use of EVMs in polls is safe and opposition should not question its credibility. Well, on the issue of EVMs, with paper trail voter verified paper audit trail or VVPAT, well, the minister said that the EC and even the courts were of the view that the machines should be used in a phased manner. The opposition members questioned why the government had not released funds to EC for these machines. Well, dissatisfied with the government's response, now members of the Congress, the SP, the BSP and the left staged a walkout.
हम बिहार हार गए, सूरज जी आप जीत गए, हम दिल्ली भी हार गए, लेकिन जिस समय माननीय नीतीश कुमार जीत रहे थे आपके कंधे और लालू जी के कंधे पर, तो उस समय क्या ईवीएम ठीक था और आज खराब हो गया? इस सवाल का जवाब को देना पड़ेगा।
2014 के इलेक्शन से लेकर आज तक 3 साल हुए, आपने पैसा बंद कर दिया। फेज मैनर में आएंगी कहां मशीन्स? पूरे इलेक्शंस के लिए मशीन कहां से आए?
आज पूरा उत्तर प्रदेश, आप बार बार कह रहे हैं कि मैंने बड़ा अच्छा काम कर दिया, इसलिए उत्तर की प्रदेश की जनता आज ठगा महसूस कर रही है जिसने वोट डाला। उसको लग रहा है कि हमारा वोट कहां गया, डाला कहां था और गया कहां।
जो मीडिया है उसके मामले में जो हालात है, पेड न्यूज से लेकर के हर तरह की, इसके मामले में कोई पूरी आल पार्टी मीटिंग बुला करके मीडिया के लोगों को भी बुला लीजिए आप।
And the government once again defended the decision of demonetization, saying that it had the people's support and it will be beneficial to the economy in the long run. While Finance Minister Arun Jaitley also pointed out the benefits of the GST regime during his reply in the debate on the general budget in the upper house yesterday.
Replying to the debate on general budget in the upper house on Thursday, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley defended the decision of demonetization.
कि एक बहुत बड़ा झटका जो ये शैडो इकोनॉमी थी उसको लगा है और आने वाले कल में इस पूरे डिजिटाइजेशन के अभियान से फॉर्मल इकोनॉमी का साइज बढ़ेगा। ये आपने ठीक कहा कि इनफॉर्मल इकोनॉमी के कुछ सेक्टर्स हैं जहां कुछ समय तकलीफ आएगी, लेकिन वो इनफॉर्मल इकोनॉमी धीरे धीरे फॉर्मल इकोनॉमी के साथ इंटीग्रेट होगी।
He also praised all state governments for their help and input in the GST Council, saying all decisions in the council were based on consensus. The finance minister also pointed out the benefits of the proposed GST regime.
हर असेसी को 4 से लेकर 8 तक असेसिंग अथॉरिटीज के सामने हर साल जाना पड़ता है। आज उस असेसी को केवल एक टैक्स लगेगा और एक अथॉरिटी के साथ उसका इंटरफेस होगा।
The Appropriation Bill 2017 and the Appropriation Bill number 2 2017 were also considered and returned by the upper house. The finance minister ruled out any farm loan waiver from the centre, saying the states should utilize their own resources for it. Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And staying with Parliament, well, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has ruled out farm loan waivers by the centre. He has, however, said that the states can utilize their own resources in this regard. Well, he clarified that the centre will not adopt a selective approach by helping one state and not the other. He said that the centre has its policy for agriculture sector, under which we provide interest, subvention and other support as well. And if a state has its own resources and want to go ahead in that direction, it will have to find its own resources. Well, Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh had said the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh will waive off for loans of small and marginal farmers, and as has been promised in the party's state election manifesto in the recent assembly polls. Well, the Congress had demanded that the government announce a loan waiver for farmers across the country, as was done by the UPA in 2006, and not just for Uttar Pradesh.
कई प्रकार की सहायता देते हैं, वो देते रहेंगे। किसी राज्य के पास अपनी क्षमता होती है अपने साधनों से, और वो उस दिशा में आगे बढ़ना चाहता है, वो उस राज्य को उसके लिए अपने साधन ढूंढने पड़ेंगे। ये परिस्थिति नहीं आएगी कि केंद्र एक राज्य की सहायता करेगा और दूसरे की नहीं करेगा।
And Food and Civil Supplies Minister Ram Vilas Paswan informed Rajya Sabha on Thursday that the government is mulling on imposing import duty on wheat to protect farmers' interests. Now, members across political spectrum had urged the government to revoke the order, scrapping import duty on wheat.
The government may consider imposing import duty on wheat to protect farmers amid projections of a record output this year. Food and Civil Supplies Minister Ram Vilas Paswan apprised the House during 0 hour that the government did not rush into reimposing the import duty as a precaution to avert any shortage of wheat.
इस बार गेहूं का पैदावार जो है बहुत होने की संभावना है। 967 लाख टन हुआ है, और जो पिछले का ओपनिंग स्टॉक्स है वो 65 लाख, बैठ जाइए एक मिनट शरद जी ना, 65 लाख टन का कहते की है। मैं आपसे सहमत हूं। हम लोग सिर्फ वेट कर रहे थे कि अभी आप मार्केट में आ रहा है, कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि कभी बारिश हो जाए, कभी ओला पड़ जाए और फिर संकट आ जाए। इसलिए जो है, जो आपने कहा है इम्पोर्ट ड्यूटी क्या कहते हैं बढ़ाने का मामला, वो सरकार के विचाराधीन है और तुरंत हम लोग
Earlier, several members had voiced concerns over the centre's decision to waive off import duty on wheat. The opposition banded together to slam the government for reducing the import duty from 10% to 0, dubbing the move as anti-farmer and not in national interest.
गुजरात और मध्य प्रदेश में किसान मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस जो 1625 रखा है, उससे बहुत कम दाम पर अपना गेहूं बेचने को विवश है, क्योंकि जो 0% ड्यूटी है इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी, उसको लगाने के लिए, बढ़ाने के लिए कोई कदम गवर्नमेंट उठा नहीं रही। मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस से कम कीमत पर यहाँ गेहूं बेचने को विवश है किसान।
Sir, there was a 25% import duty on wheat. Last year, in 2015,
No, you can only associate.
it was reduced to 15. Why it was reduced to 0?
No, you cannot have a discussion now. मंत्री जी आप response करते हैं?
India is the world's second biggest wheat producer. The centre lowered the import tax on wheat to 10% from 25% in September 2015 and scrapped the duty in December last year. Wheat import has touched 55 lakh tons since then. The Ministry of Agriculture has projected wheat output at 96.64 million tons in 2017, up from 92.29 million tons last year. Without any import duty, wheat from foreign countries turn cheaper than indigenously produced wheat and add to the farmers' woes. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj on Thursday said that there was no reason to worry about the curbs on H-1B visas or the job security of Indian IT professionals working in the United States. Well, Swaraj asserted in the upper house that the government is engaging with the US at the highest level to ensure that the interests of the Indian people or the IT industry are not affected.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj sought to allay the fears of the members of Rajya Sabha over the effects of the steps being taken by the Donald Trump administration to check illegal immigrants in the US. Swaraj said there are 4 bills in the US Congress on curbs on H-1B visas, and the government is making all efforts through diplomatic channels to ensure that these bills are not passed.
तो जहां तक H-1B और L-1 वीजा का सवाल है, हम लोग इसमें लगे हुए हैं, बातचीत लगातार कर रहे हैं कि किसी भी तरह से भारतीय आईटी इंडस्ट्री और यहाँ के प्रोफेशनल्स का हित प्रभावित नहीं होना चाहिए। और हम उन्हें ये कह रहे हैं, जैसे मैंने पहले कहा, कि वो आपकी नौकरियां नहीं ले रहे, वो आपकी अर्थव्यवस्था में योगदान कर रहे हैं। जहां तक आपने सोशल सिक्योरिटी की बात की, वो मसला आज का नहीं है, वो बहुत पुराना है, और उस बीच में दोनों सरकारें रही हैं।
Swaraj also stated that the US has given a list of 271 people claiming they were illegal migrants from India, but the government has not accepted it. The government would also not allow their deportation without proper verification.
और अभी जो हमें लिस्ट दी गई है, वो केवल 271 लोगों की दी गई है, लेकिन उस 271 की लिस्ट भी हमने मानी नहीं। हमने कहा हमें डिटेल्स दीजिए, हम उनकी राष्ट्रीयता की जांच करेंगे, उसके बाद उनको डिपोर्टेशन के लिए हम लोग इमरजेंसी सर्टिफिकेट देंगे। तो ये कहना पहले तो कि ट्रंप प्रशासन के आने के बाद नीति परिवर्तन हुआ, ये सही नहीं है।
Responding to another query, Swaraj highlighted the measures initiated by the government to protect the interests of Tamils in Sri Lanka.
हमारा लक्ष्य है श्रीलंका के तमिलों के हितों की सुरक्षा करना। अब ये 2 तरीके से की जा सकती है, या तो फोर्सफुली करिए, जोर जबरदस्ती करके, और या एक अच्छे पड़ोसी देश के नाते उन्हें समझा बुझाकर और परसुएड करके करिए। मैं आपके माध्यम से ये बताना चाहूंगी कि ये जो रिपोर्ट है, जितने कंसर्न्स उनके हैं, वो सारे के सारे कंसर्न्स इसमें लिखे गए हैं, और रेजोल्यूशन में श्रीलंका से ये अपेक्षा की गई है कि वो उनको 2017 तक पूरा करेगा, और को स्पॉन्सर होने के नाते श्रीलंका ने इन अपेक्षाओं पे खरे उतरने का वादा किया है।
Questions were also raised on the mechanism to check plagiarism and plans to improve the quality of education in the country. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
News from Lok Sabha now, and Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Thursday assured the lower house that the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh will not discriminate on the basis of any caste or creed. While the Home Minister was replying to a question raised during the 0 hour by Congress's Ranjit Ranjan that police in Uttar Pradesh was indulging in moral policing in the name of anti-Romeo force, and that a specific caste community and youth were being targeted. While rejecting the allegations, the Home Minister said that it has been only a few days since the BJP government has begun work in the state. However, if there were any such specific incidents, the government will definitely look into it. Rajnath Singh also reminded all that the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has promised to deliver on Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas.
जिस भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार इस समय उत्तर प्रदेश में है, मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी कास्ट, क्रीड अथवा रिलीजन के बेसिस पर किसी भी सूरत में किसी प्रकार का डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं करती है। और आपने देखा होगा कि वहां के मुख्यमंत्री जो बने हैं, उन्होंने भी अपनी पहली प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा था कि मैं एक ही सिद्धांत को अपनाकर चलूंगा, सबका साथ और सबका विकास। इसी सिद्धांत को ही अपनाकर वहां पर वो कर रहे हैं।
On to some other news now. Well, the centre has approved assistance of about 5,021 crore rupees to 10 states affected by flood, drought and other natural disasters. Well, these states are Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Manipur, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Uttar Pradesh. Well, this was decided at a highest level committee meeting chaired by Home Minister Rajnath Singh in New Delhi on Thursday. The 4,979 crore rupees have been approved from the National Disaster Response Fund and over 40 crore rupees from the National Rural Drinking Water Program. Now, Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh, Home Secretary Rajiv Merishi and senior representatives from Niti Aayog and Finance Ministry also attended the meeting. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Aditya L1. This is going to be the first Indian mission to observe the sun. Coming back to Astrosat, we have spent many years first developing the individual payloads. The first time we have developed X-ray optics in the country. First time we have developed UV optics in the country.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Sita Soma Sundaram, Program Director, SSPO at ISRO, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Delhi police will seek a legal opinion on whether an FIR can be registered against Shiv Sena MP Ravindra Gaikwad. Well, the MP allegedly attacked an Air India staff with his slippers over seating issues. Well, Gaikwad, the Lok Sabha MP from Maharashtra's Osmanabad, slapped HIT 60-year-old duty manager Sukumar with his sandal when he persuaded the MP to disembark after he refused to alight, holding up the aircraft for over 40 minutes. Well, the government has, however, said that it is working on an institutional mechanism to check undesirable flight behavior, while Air India is mulling preparing a no-fly list for unruly passengers following the incident. Now, the Shiv Sena has sought a reply from the MP over the incident.
Physical assault is not a thing which any democratic person of any political party will encourage. And any physical assault will always be condemned.
एयर इंडिया वाले के कर्मचारी को मैंने मारा है, उसको कंप्लेन करवाएं, करने दो, मैं जवाब दूंगा.
And a delegation of all political parties of Haryana, led by Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar, will today meet Home Minister Rajnath Singh in Delhi to discuss the Sutlej-Yamuna link canal issue. Well, according to officials, the delegation will comprise the State Education Minister Ram Vilas Sharma, Finance Minister Captain Abhimanyu, Health Minister Anil Vij and State BJP President Subhash Barala. Now, Haryana Congress Chief Ashok Tanwar, leader of the Congress Legislative Party Kiran Chaudhary, former Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda, State President of the Indian National Lok Dal Ashok Arora and the leader of the opposition Abhay Singh Chautala will also be a part of this delegation. Now, before proceeding to meet the Home Minister, the delegation would meet for a preliminary discussion at Haryana Bhavan in the national capital. And scrutiny for the nominations for the by-elections to the Malappuram Lok Sabha seat in Kerala and 2 assembly constituencies in Tamil Nadu and Sikkim will be done today. While voting for the seats will be held on 12th of April, with the counting of further votes for the assembly constituencies on 15th of April and for Kerala Lok Sabha seat on 17th of April. Well, today is also the last day for the withdrawal of candidature for by-polls to Srinagar Lok Sabha seat and 10 assembly constituencies. Now, by-polls for 2 seats each in Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka and 1 seat each in the NCT of Delhi, Assam, West Bengal, Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan and Jharkhand will be held on 9th of April along with Srinagar Lok Sabha seat, and the counting of the votes for the 10 assembly constituencies will take place on 13th of April, while for Srinagar Lok Sabha seat it will be held on 15th of April. Meanwhile, today is also the last day for filing of nominations for the by-elections to Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag Lok Sabha, and voting here will be held on 12th of April. And scrutiny of nominations will be held on 27th of March and counting of votes will take place on 15th of April. News from West Bengal now, and Chief Minister of the state Mamata Banerjee has accused the centre of not taking her into confidence over sharing of Teesta River water with Bangladesh. Now, she has said that she would not let the state's interest be sacrificed. Banerjee said that she had come across reports that the Teesta Treaty would be signed on 25th of May, but was yet to receive an invitation from the centre for a discussion during Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's upcoming visit to India. Now, India and Bangladesh are set to ink the Teesta deal during former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh's 2011 Dhaka visit, but Banerjee had declined to endorse the deal, citing a scarcity of water in her state. Remember, the Teesta River, which has its origin in Sikkim, flows through the northern part of West Bengal before entering Bangladesh and then joining the Brahmaputra River. Big story from Maharashtra, and the State Association of the Resident Doctors has called off its strike and has given the doctors time to take a decision. Well, this comes after the Bombay High Court asked the striking doctors to resume work immediately, while Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis also appealed to the doctors to call off this stir, assuring security in hospitals. Well, Union Health Minister J.P. Nadda also appealed to the striking doctors to resume their services. However, the protests intensified across the country yesterday, with over 20,000 doctors giving on mass leave in the national capital Delhi in solidarity with their counterparts in Maharashtra. And the doctors in private sector also joined them by adhering to the Indian Medical Association's call for OPD Bandh. Meanwhile, the full-time Medical Teachers Association of Mumbai has given an ultimatum of 48 hours to the government to accept the demands, or else they will tender mass resignations.
The state government has also directed has also made assurance to the court that they will provide 500 security guards to the for the security of doctors by 5th April 2017 and additional 600 security guards by 30th April 2017.
लोगों की सुरक्षितता ये हम लोग मानते हैं। माड़ का जो मांग है कि उनको सुरक्षित मिलनी चाहिए, अच्छे वातावरण में उन्होंने काम करना चाहिए, इस बात से मैं सहमत हूँ। लेकिन इस सब के लिए थोड़ी देर लगती है, तो उन्होंने थोड़ा संयम रखे, इसके बारे में ये स्ट्राइक पीछे लेना चाहिए और राज्य शासन के मंत्री महोदय जी के साथ उनके साथ डिस्कस करके इसके ऊपर एक अच्छा रिजल्ट उनको अगर चाहिए तो ये स्ट्राइक पीछे लेनी चाहिए।
गलत होगा, ये हमारी सामूहिक कार्य बहिष्कार, इसको हम हिंदी में कहेंगे मास कैजुअल लीव, सिर्फ ये जताने के लिए और ये बताने के लिए कि हमें भी सुरक्षित वातावरण में काम करने का हक है और ये हमारा अधिकार भी है।
And now India has strongly reacted to Pakistan High Commissioner Abdul Basit's remarks on Jammu and Kashmir during the Pakistan National Day celebrations in Delhi. Well, the MEA has said that Basit's statements are not in keeping with the diplomatic niceties and are tantamount to interference in the country's internal affairs. Well, the MEA also asserted that Pakistan will be well advised to effectively address the challenge of terrorism emanating from that country, which has adversely affected its relations with other countries. Well, Pakistan High Commissioner to India Abdul Basit has said that while the country wants a better relations with India, it wants the Kashmir issue to be solved according to the aspirations of the people of the state.
हमारे तमाम हमसायों के साथ हमारे ताल्लुकात भी बेहतर हों और ख़ास तौर पर हम चाहते हैं कि भारत के साथ हमारे ताल्लुकात बेहतर हों और जितने भी हमारे मसाइल हैं, तनाज़ात हैं, उनको हम पुरअमन तरीके से हल करें और ख़ास तौर पर जम्मू और कश्मीर का मसला है, हम चाहते हैं कि उससे भी कश्मीरी जो अवाम है उनकी उमंगों के मुताबिक ये मसला भी हल होना चाहिए।
On to the other top story now. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, who is on a 4-day visit to the United States, will today meet the U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis in Washington. Well, the two sides will discuss a wide range of bilateral security issues and defense ties. Well, the Mattis-Doval meeting would be one of the highest level meetings between the two countries after U.S. President Donald Trump assumed office on 20th of January this year. And the meeting is expected to be on the sidelines of an international meeting of the anti-Islamic State coalition hosted by the U.S. State Department. Well, Doval is also expected to meet his American counterpart, Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, the first between the two national security advisors during his stay in the United States. But India's ties with the U.S. gained momentum towards the end of the previous Barack Obama administration, with the latter declaring India a major defense partner. But the two sides last year also signed a bilateral logistics exchange memorandum of agreement that will give the militaries of the two nations access to each other's facilities for supplies and repairs. Earlier this month, Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar had met McMaster at the White House. And now an update on the recent Westminster attack. Well, police have identified a 52-year-old British man, Khalid Masood, as the man who carried out the carnage. Well, police say that while Khalid Masood had previous convictions for violence, he was not booked for terrorism offences. Now, Khalid, remember, was shot dead by the British police. The Islamic State group has said that it was behind the attack. Well, a tweet from IS-affiliated news agency said that the attacker was a soldier of Islamic State, inspired by its message. Well, Masood, remember, drove into pedestrians on Westminster Bridge before crashing his car and then running Parliament premises, where he stabbed a police officer before being shot dead. Meanwhile, British police also arrested 8 others from London and Birmingham for the Wednesday's attack. The death toll has also risen to 5 after a 75-year-old injured man succumbed to his injuries. On Thursday, the people of the London and visitors to the city also came together to remember the people who lost their lives in the attack. Queen Elizabeth II also shared her deepest sympathy for the victims. In Parliament, MPs held a minute's silence, and Prime Minister Theresa May, in an address to the House of Commons, vowed that the Britain's freedoms and values would remain undiminished.
Yesterday, an act of terrorism tried to silence our democracy. But today we meet as normal, as generations have done before us and as future generations will continue to do, to deliver a simple message: we are not afraid.
News from the US now, and a vote on President Donald Trump's new health care bill in the House of Representatives has been delayed. Well, the postponement is a setback for the president, who had insisted that he would win the numbers to pass it through the lower house of Chamber of Congress on Thursday. The American Health Care Act is intended to replace parts of President Barack Obama's signature health care law. Now, repealing and replacing so-called Obamacare was a major plank of Trump's election campaign. Well, the bill needs 215 votes to pass, but it ran into opposition mainly from the conservative Republicans who believed it did not roll back enough of Obama's Affordable Care Act. Obamacare helped 20 million previously uninsured Americans get health insurance, but it has been plagued by increases in insurance premiums, which were also a problem before the health law. Now, Trump has, however, promised a new law that would cover more people and at a lower cost.
The cost of medicine in this country is outrageous, many times higher than in some countries in Europe and elsewhere. Why? Same pill, same manufacturer, identical, and it's many times higher in the United States. You know why? Campaign contributions, who knows? But somebody's getting very rich. We're going to bring it down. We're going to have a great competitive bidding process.
And more than 200 migrants are feared dead in a boat sinking off the coast of Libya. Well, Proactiva Open Arms, a Spanish aid organization, recovered 5 bodies floating near 2 capsized boats. Well, the vessels would typically carry 120 to 140 people each. Now, a major rescue operation is underway to trace more bodies. The number of migrants that are trying to reach Europe from Libya via Italy have risen dramatically this year since the route between Turkey and Greece was effectively shut down. Well, the Italian Coast Guard have coordinated more than 40 rescue operations in the last few days. The International Organization for Migration says that more than 20,000 migrants have arrived in Italy so far this year, and some 559 people are estimated to have died or gone missing en route. Well, that's it from me and my team in this edition of news. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day ahead.